If you have an active sourdough starter, then you can have these par-baked pizza crusts on hand to make delicious individual sized pizza anytime you want. Let's go ahead and get started. I love making my bread products by weight so that I can scale them up or down, and it's just so much easier to measure flour on a scale. But if you like to use cups to measure your flour, then you can get all the measurements on the Better Baker Club. Just search sourdough pizza. I've also included some metric measurements as well. So I've gone ahead and put 6 ounces of water in the bowl, 8 ounces of sourdough starter, 10 ounces of bread flour, and 1/4 ounce of salt. And I'm using my Dutch whisk to stir this up. You don't even need to use a mixer with a dough hook for this. It just is such a simple recipe and it comes together really nicely. So the thing about using a sourdough starter as opposed to yeast in your recipe is that it does take a little bit longer to proof. So after you give it a quick knead by hand, you're going to place this dough in an oiled bowl and just let it rest for as long as it needs to basically double in size. It may not double in size depending on your sourdough starter, but once your dough looks like it has definitely relaxed and started to proof, it usually takes about 4 to 6 hours. Then you're going to turn it out onto a floured surface and divide it in 3 equal-sized portions. Now I'm using this batch to make the 3 personal-sized pizzas, but you can also use the entire batch to make 1 large family-style pizza. After I divide it in 3, I'm going to pre-shape it by giving it a roll in both directions, and this just helps it to form a round shape. I'll let it rest for just a couple of minutes until it's nice and relaxed, flour my surface nicely, and then I'm going to go ahead and shape these as a pizza. And to do this, I'm going to use my fingertips to create a little steering wheel shape where I have that thicker portion towards the edges and a thinner crust towards the middle. It's one of the things that adds to the deliciousness of this pizza crust. And I'm just going to use my floured hands to gently stretch the center and sides of the dough, but I don't want to flatten out that nice edge piece. Now, when it comes to baking these pizza crusts, you can do it on a sheet pan, which I'm showing you here, and I'm just lightly docking it with the tines of a fork to help any extra air to escape while we're baking it. You can also use a peel and a stone if you have one, and to do this, you're just going to make sure that your surface is well floured. You can use bread flour or rice flour to do that. Shape your pizza crust onto the peel and then dock it with your fork again. Make sure that you've got the nice shape that you want and go ahead and pre-bake these at 350 degrees for about 8 minutes. You just want that glossiness to disappear. To finish these pizzas off, just top them with your favorite sauce, toppings, and cheese and bake them at 400 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. Or until golden brown. Now we've got a set of par-baked pizza crusts that you can keep in your freezer and finish off anytime you're craving delicious sourdough pizza. I like to sell these at the farmer's market in sets of 3. And if you're looking for tips to make this recipe or to sell your baked goods, then check out thebetterbakerclub.com and search sourdough pizza crusts.